They always said I'd never be like my brother, and for years, I believed them. But when the truth about his success finally came out, my whole family realized what real hard work looks like. Watch till the end, because sometimes the truth takes time to shine. I still remember that dinner like it happened last night. The smell of roasted chicken, garlic bread, and my mom's favorite red wine filling the air. My father sat at the head of the table, proud as always, with his sleeves rolled up like he was about to lead a board meeting instead of a family meal. And right beside him, my brother, Daniel, the golden boy, the one who could do no wrong. Kate, my dad said between bites, you really should take a page out of your brother's book. Look at how well he's doing. A new car, a promotion, an apartment downtown. I smiled politely, trying not to roll my eyes. Mom jumped in next. You're doing fine, sweetheart, but Daniel just knows how to make things happen. He's ambitious. Daniel leaned back, smirking, swirling his wine. It's not about luck, Katie. It's about knowing how to talk to people, how to get them to give you what you want. He said it like a joke, but the way his eyes glinted told me he wasn't joking at all. I swallowed the lump in my throat. I work hard, Dad. I'm doing everything I can. You're doing enough, maybe, he replied, but not like your brother. He just has that drive. That drive. The kind that manipulates people until they break. But no one at that table knew that, except me. Because I'd seen it. The way Daniel spoke to his clients, how he twisted their words, made promises he never kept, how he got his so-called success. I'd stayed silent for months. But that night, when my family made me feel like a failure just because I refused to lie like Daniel, something inside me cracked. As laughter filled the room, I sat there, smiling on the outside, but inside, I promised myself one thing. They would see the truth one day. And when they did, they'd finally know the difference between manipulation and real work. After that dinner, I started paying closer attention to Daniel. He worked for a real estate firm downtown, Reynolds and Associates. On paper, he was one of their top agents, closing million-dollar deals every month. My parents bragged about him to every neighbor within a 5-block radius. But I'd overheard things. Late-night phone calls. Angry clients. A woman crying on his voicemail. I didn't have proof yet. But I knew Daniel. I grew up with his kind of charm, the kind that could sell anything, even if it wasn't his to sell. I worked in a modest marketing firm, barely making enough to keep up with my rent. But I earned every dollar honestly. I never took shortcuts. Maybe that's why I was invisible in my family's eyes. One morning at work, my manager, Olivia, stopped by my desk. Kate, your proposal for the Carter account, it's really solid. But the client said your brother Daniel approached them too. My stomach dropped. What? Yeah, he offered them a better deal through his firm. Kind of strange, right? He even mentioned your name. I froze. Daniel was using my name to get business? That night, I called him. Why are you involving my clients? I snapped the moment he picked up. He chuckled. Relax, Katie. It's just business. Business? You're stealing my leads. I'm helping them get better value, he said smoothly. If you were smarter, you'd do the same. You're too moral. It's slowing you down. That word stung. Moral. As if it was an insult. You can't keep doing this, Daniel. People trust you. And they'll keep trusting me, he said smugly. Because I give them what they want to hear. That's the secret, sis. You should try it. I hung up, trembling with anger. For the first time, I realized how dangerous his kind of charm really was. The next few weeks were tense. At every family gathering, Daniel's name came up like a trophy. Did you see the article about Daniel's firm? My mom said one night. They called him the rising star of Chicago real estate. Dad grinned. See, Katie? That's what happens when you take risks. I wanted to scream. They didn't know the people he was hurting. The small investors who trusted him, the young agents he manipulated, the clients he sweet-talked into deals they couldn't afford. but the universe has a way of balancing things. One morning, I was at a coffee shop near Daniel's office when I overheard two men arguing by the counter. "That Reynolds guy scammed me," one said, slamming his cup down. "He promised a return on my investment, then disappeared. I'm suing if I don't get my money back." Reynolds. That was Daniel's boss. And suddenly, I saw the bigger picture. Daniel wasn't just manipulating people for personal gain. He was part of something larger, something unethical. I pulled out my phone and searched Reynolds and Associates complaints. Dozens of results popped up. Fraud, false promises, misleading contracts, and right there in a photo, Daniel smiling next to his boss. My hands shook. My brother was knee-deep in a company scandal, and my family had no idea. That evening, I drove straight to Daniel's apartment. He opened the door in a silk shirt, phone in one hand, glass of whiskey in the other. "Kate, what a surprise. Come to congratulate me on another great quarter." "Cut it, Daniel," I said sharply. "I know what's going on at Reynolds. The complaints, the lawsuits, everything." He sighed dramatically. "You've been reading gossip forums again?" "They're not gossip. These are real people you and your firm have scammed." His eyes turned cold. "Watch your words. I'm your sister. I'm trying to help you before it gets worse." He laughed, a dark, dismissive sound. "Help me? You don't even understand how the real world works. People want dreams, Kate. I just sell them." "Lies," I whispered. "Call it persuasion," he smirked. "And if you think you're better than me because you play by the rules, guess what? The world doesn't reward honesty." I wanted to hit him, but instead, I said quietly, "It will. Maybe not today, but someday." He smirked again. "You've always been naive." A month later, everything started unraveling. Reynolds and Associates hit the news. Fraud investigation, misleading clients, illegal commissions. Daniel's face appeared on local channels, standing beside his boss as cameras flashed. Mom called me crying. "Kate, they're saying such horrible things about your brother. This can't be true, right?" I wanted to lie, to spare her pain, but I couldn't. "Mom," I said softly, "it's true." I tried to warn him. Silence. Then a quiet, broken, "Oh my God." Dad was furious. The media twist things. They're jealous of successful people. But even he couldn't deny the evidence piling up. Within a week, Daniel's accounts were frozen. His car was repossessed. The company shut down. And suddenly, the same family that once praised him couldn't even say his name out loud. I didn't celebrate. Watching my brother fall wasn't satisfying. It was heartbreaking. Despite everything, he was still my brother. And seeing him alone, stripped of his arrogance, hit something deep in me. One afternoon, I found him sitting on a park bench downtown. His expensive clothes looked out of place, like a costume from another life. He didn't look up when I sat beside him. "They all left," he said quietly. "The clients, the friends, the women. Even Mom barely talks to me." "You built everything on lies, Daniel," I said softly. "But you can rebuild. The right way." He gave a weak laugh. "You sound like Dad used to when he still believed in us." "I still do," I said. "But you have to stop manipulating people. You're smart. You can use that for something good." For the first time, I saw tears in his eyes. "I don't even know where to start." "Start with honesty," I said. "Tell the truth. Face it." Weeks later, I was invited to a small event at my firm. They wanted me to present a campaign about ethical branding in business. I spoke from the heart. I talked about integrity, about how manipulation might build an empire, but honesty builds legacy. What I didn't expect was to see my parents sitting in the audience, and Daniel quietly in the back. When it ended, they came up to me. Mom hugged me first, eyes glistening. "We were wrong, Kate. So wrong. You're stronger than we ever realized." Dad's voice cracked. "You showed us what real success looks like." I glanced at Daniel. He didn't say anything, but he looked at me differently. Not with arrogance this time, but with respect. Maybe even gratitude. A few months later, Daniel started working for a community housing project, helping families find affordable homes. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. One evening, we sat at Mom's dinner table again. The same table where everything began. This time, Dad raised his glass. "To Kate," he said proudly, "for showing us that hard work and truth still matter." I smiled, tears in my eyes. Daniel looked at me and whispered, "Thanks for not giving up on me." And for the first time in years, the dinner table didn't feel like a battlefield. It felt like home. I learned something powerful. Sometimes, people will compare you to those who shine brighter, until the truth starts to glow on its own. You don't need shortcuts or manipulation to earn respect. Because when the truth finally speaks, it echoes louder than any lie ever could.
If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen play out?